Imagine a nation standing at a financial crossroads where the rules of money, ownership, and digital value are being rewritten in real time. In 2026, the United States is moving closer to defining what digital assets truly are, how they are regulated, and who ultimately controls them, through sweeping crypto legislation commonly referred to as the Clarity Act. This is not a minor update. It represents a structural shift in how digital finance will operate going forward. For years, crypto markets in the United States have existed in a gray zone. Developers, investors, and institutions have operated without a single clear legal framework. The Clarity Act aims to end that uncertainty by drawing a firm line between digital commodities and digital securities, and by assigning clear regulatory authority. Assets like XRP sit directly at the center of this transformation. At the core of the Clarity Act is a simple but powerful principle. If a digital asset is truly decentralized, its value cannot depend on a company, a management team, or a small group of insiders. Instead, its value must come from the use of the network itself, supported by open participation, transparent rules, and distributed ownership. This is where decentralization becomes a legal requirement, not a marketing slogan. Under the proposed framework, a digital commodity must be intrinsically linked to a blockchain system and must not provide rights to profits, dividends, or claims against an issuer. Just as importantly, no single person or coordinated group may control the network or dominate the asset's supply. Regulators view this as essential for reducing manipulation risk and protecting public trust. One of the most important details in this framework is ownership concentration. Analysts have focused on a threshold where no single entity should control more than roughly 20% of a digital asset's total supply. If that threshold is exceeded, regulators may conclude that the asset is not sufficiently decentralized and therefore does not qualify as a digital commodity. This matters greatly for XRP because the company historically associated with its development has controlled a significant portion of the supply through escrow arrangements. At various points, estimates place this figure near 40%, which would exceed the proposed decentralization benchmark. Under the Clarity Act's logic, that concentration must be reduced for XRP to qualify as a fully decentralized blockchain commodity. Importantly, decentralization does not mean chaos. It does not require reckless selling or flooding the market with supply. Large-scale dumping would undermine confidence and stability. Instead, decentralization can be achieved through structured, deliberate mechanisms that reduce control while preserving orderly markets. These mechanisms may include placing portions of holdings into legally independent trust structures, expanding institutional custody where assets are held on behalf of unrelated clients, and distributing liquidity through regulated banking corridors across multiple jurisdictions. What regulators care about is not optics, but control. If governance and influence are clearly dispersed, the decentralization requirement can be met. As of early January 2026, credible reports indicate that the U.S. Senate Banking Committee scheduled a markup session around January 15th to review the Clarity Act or related crypto market structure legislation. A markup is a procedural step where lawmakers debate, amend, and vote on a bill within committee before it moves forward. It is critical to understand what this does and does not mean. Markup does not equal passage. The bill must still clear committee approval, survive a full Senate vote, reconcile with House legislation, and receive final authorization. January 15th is a milestone, not a finish line. Nevertheless, markets and institutions rarely wait for final signatures. They move when direction becomes undeniable. The fact that this legislation has reached the markup stage signals that regulatory clarity is no longer theoretical. Infrastructure providers, banks, and custodians are already positioning themselves accordingly. A frequent discussion point among XRP observers involves liquidity mechanics. If an asset is meant to function as a global settlement rail, extremely low nominal prices create friction when moving large volumes of value. Settlement systems benefit from price density, stability, and confidence, not speculative spikes alone. This does not mean price outcomes are guaranteed. All price projections remain speculative and depend on adoption, regulation, and macroeconomic conditions. While some proponents suggest scenarios ranging from the lower hundreds to much higher, such figures must be approached cautiously and without certainty. Utility does not eliminate risk. What is clear is that legal clarity, decentralization, and institutional integration fundamentally change how digital assets are evaluated. Assets that meet these standards move from speculation toward infrastructure. That transition is slow, technical, and largely invisible to the public, but it is how financial systems evolve. In 2026, the United States is attempting to define the future of digital assets with rules that prioritize transparency, decentralization, and public trust. The Clarity Act represents a shift away from ambiguity toward accountability and lawful innovation. For XRP, this moment presents both a challenge and an opportunity. Meeting decentralization thresholds could unlock broader institutional participation and clearer legal status. Whether the Senate moves quickly or slowly, the direction is now visible. In the end, financial sovereignty and public trust take center stage. Large-scale settlements and historical assets cannot function without compliant blockchain rails operating inside the banking system. Infrastructure comes before outcomes, and regulation comes before release. If this breakdown helped you understand what is really happening behind the headlines, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Join our Telegram group via the link in the comments for daily updates and research-based discussions. We inform, you choose.